Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to this channel right now. We are heading into 2024. Trump will be the nominee. God forbid he decides not to run. That's the only reason he wouldn't be nominee. He's far and away 20, 30 points ahead of DeSantis and everybody else. Tim Scott could very well be his running mate. Tim Scott could be his vice president. I do believe that he would pick Tim Scott over DeSantis. Just looking at what's transpired between DeSantis and Trump in the past month and a half. If and when DeSantis jumps into the ring and decides to run for president, I don't think actually that's going to endear him to Trump. Tim Scott has a fantastic message. He's awesome. He is a millionaire. He has his own insurance agency. He's a South Carolina senator. Huge contrast between the Democratic philosophy on a lot of things. So here is a man who is a very successful businessman, very successful in politics. He's a South Carolina senator, has a very positive message. Trump has a positive message too, but it gets lost in the media hysteria and frenzy. Tim Scott right now has a more positive, hopeful message than even Trump. Now, the media has not, gone to town, and they would, if Tim Scott was the nominee, they would say, the stoic, or no, what would it be? The calm and stoic authoritarianism of Tim Scott. Like, they would spin his, personable and hopeful and Reagan-like qualities into some kind of, totalitarian nightmare. Because the Democrats and media have a wonderful way of spinning everything and making themselves look so fantastic. So, hit subscribe, by the way, to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. I know that I haven't been doing as many segments as I want every day, but that will change in a couple of days. So, and I am working on getting some really, really wonderful interviews. So, we're going to be doing a lot of interviews in the next year and a half, especially before 24. The channel will grow. We're actually we're just around the 204,000, but we're almost going to hit 203,000 again, just because the channel is just kind of in limbo right now. But you know what? It's still a good time, and I will step up the heat and do a whole bunch more segments every single day, especially starting June. But we're going to have a lot of really wonderful interviews. I'm working on really amazing interviews, ladies and gentlemen, on this channel to really spice up and to grow the channel. And I think that it'll be fantastic. Just really wonderful people. But anyway, hit subscribe right now. Go to hagoodman.com to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, and other publications. Patreon is below. Super thanks is below. Become a member as well. To my new members, thank you so much for joining. But the channel is going to grow. And look, we're going into 24. I think Tim Scott would make a fantastic candidate because his message is so hopeful, and he's able to communicate this message. And he's basically, it is impossible for Democrats to try to turn Tim Scott's message into something negative. Here's a millionaire, a businessman, owns an insurance company, senator from South Carolina. He's against a victim mentality. He just said that. Elon Musk, backs his latest campaign speech, said it was an amazing message. I think everybody should listen to it. Does he have a chance to become nominee? Only if Trump bows out or decides not to become nominee. I think that Donald Trump has experienced everything they have against him. All of media, intel agencies, Hollywood, algorithms, he still comes back. I don't think there's a politician on this planet who could do what Trump has done. A big part of one's public image, ladies and gentlemen, is how media responds. You either have apoplectic and hysterical media frenzy trying to tear down somebody every single day, and then you have somebody like Trump who doesn't care, almost, at a certain point in the past thrived on it, and can continually get, 70 plus million Americans to choose him because we had record low poverty. With Trump, we had record low poverty in 2019. It was not his policy to shut down state economies. It is Biden's policy to let the invasion take place without trying to stop it from taking place. That was the Democratic Party policy. They didn't want to do anything that would help our Cold War adversaries. So negotiating a settlement or a ceasefire or a peace deal prior to the hostilities in Europe, which is what Trump would have done, which is what Macron and others wanted to do, that would be Trump. So the invasion in Europe took place while Biden was president, directly linked to Biden's foreign policy. What took place in Trump's tenure, his last year in office, that was Democratic governors, Michigan, New York, California, Illinois, gleefully tanking their state economies. They didn't have to do that. And then opening up, oh my God, just miraculously when a Democrat, Biden defeated Trump, miraculously. You know what? Oh. And then Biden says, oh, he created all these jobs. They shut down the economy, pretended they were the good, noble Democrats giving stimulus checks. And then they opened up the economy and said, oh, look, we presided over all of these jobs. We had record low unemployment with Trump, record highs in household median income with 2% inflation. And we didn't have the 3 to 4 trillion extra in debt. And we didn't have a $1 trillion deficit. Trillion plus. And that was all because of Democratic Party policies. The governors, Democratic governors, in fact, there were Republican holdout states who didn't want to shut down their economies. And that was the stupidest thing to do. It led to the worst economic disaster since the Great Depression. And we haven't even yet experienced the full consequences. So you talk about poverty has increased. We had lower poverty levels with Trump. Just look at the economic numbers. Look at the foreign policy. He removed Americans from 2 theaters of war, one in the Mideast, two theaters of conflict within the Middle East. And he gets no praise at all from the left, who used to care about foreign policy. So it's like all you heard from, like, in the 80s, if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, is that hippies were against, the war, and they were, those same people are now voting for Biden, and they don't care about never-ending military conflict. So it's unbelievable. It's like you had people who were like, I was against Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld. Then why did you vote for Biden? Because that was going to happen, the invasion in Europe, and he would never have brought home Americans. That was a May 1st, 2021 withdrawal that he ignored. It completely botched the Doha Agreement, which Trump negotiated with, which Hillary would never have. And I think Hillary Clinton will eventually be the Democratic nominee. I don't see how that's not possible. I mean, I don't see how it's possible that she isn't the Democratic nominee. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel. I think Tim Scott would be an amazing choice because Democrats have no propaganda spin. There's no way they could disparage him. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel right